Alrighty folks, gonna pop up another quick video. It's Stephen here from tctsgroup.com, and we had another late one last night, dealing with operators, dealing with issues, dealing with roadside prohibitions for companies and all the usual that comes with it. But in this video, guys, I want to talk about the competency level again of management staff, and not so much the competency level, but the understanding of what happens. So to give you a rough idea, now if you hear any noise, guys, with guys on the roof doing a bit of construction work here, but let me set this camera down, see if I can explain it a wee bit better. So anyway, vehicle stopped last night for insecure load. Okay, now the load itself was racked near enough to the roof, which is fair enough. The load is very light. The internal cargo stops would have secured it, absolutely no problem. So guy comes on to me, operations manager and transport manager, two on a call, shouting and roaring and whinging and crying about the driver being stupid and being incompetent and not being fit to do his job. Now, every time I hear this back, I have to understand what their background is. I have to understand what their what part of that chain of communication or what part of that chain of planning they were involved in. Okay, so anyway, I says to the guy, right, no problem at all, parked up, prohibition, had to get somebody out with the straps to strap the load, probably lost 2 or 3 hours. Now they have a late delivery fee, etc, etc. But more importantly, this will go against their OCRS, their Operators Compliance Risk Score. So I says to the guy, got them on the call, got them on the video call this morning, went through the stuff with them. I says, right, establish what sort of load it was, establish the loading of it, establish then that the driver would have had to strap the load. They sent me over pictures. There's enough room between the top of the load and the roof. And I says, right, okay. Now, first thing is, what's your working at height policy? The guy says, well, what do you mean? I says, well, do you have a policy, a documented procedure? Have you trained the guys? Is there a fall arrest system? Is there harnesses, cradles? What exactly do you use? So the guy then says, hold on, I'm going to have to phone the driver. So we phone the driver back, and the driver says, this is what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not allowed on the load. I'm not allowed on the bed of the trailer. We've been telling you this for 6 months. The contract's only new. Health and safety at this level has been out for years. Good lad, that screws in. So yeah, this is the way that the drivers communicated back, but nobody is taking it on board, especially from their health and safety point of view, So anyway, I started giving out the health and safety. The health and safety director comes on the phone. He hasn't a clue what's going on. He wouldn't know if you were up him. And there's the problem, reiteration of documentation, reading from a book, reading from a wee policy. His risk assessments were done from the office. He has never done a transport specific or transport relevant risk assessment ever in his life. And this is where it all starts, guys. It starts at the top and filters down. Now, I do get a wee bit, what's the word? Passionate. Other people say aggressive. I say passionate about this because the feelings for that whole problem last night came from the top. It came from incompetence of transport management. It came from incompetence of compliance management. It came from incompetence of health and safety management. The whole way down, guys. The whole way down. And at some stage, you have to put on your big boy pants, chest out, and take these on board. Stop letting everybody else do the work for you. Stop letting, the blame push back on drivers. Now, people give out, yes, you have drivers that can't do the job, but that's what training's there for. That's what induction training's there for. That's what monitoring's for. So this driver, anyway, who's getting rattled for it all, the conversation wasn't about the management. The conversation was about the prohibition and how the driver failed to do his job. Now, this load that they've been putting out for 6 months has never been secured correctly, Now, this is what I want to just highlight here, guys, about the race to the bottom. This particular company is being used by a large manufacturing company, okay, for all the transportation needs and warehousing needs. Now, they have went in and cut the price, cut the rate that much. They've actually cut it that much that I am struggling to see financially how it makes any sense for them to do it. But what they have done is they've actually taken work for the legal compliant operators, the guys that's doing it right, the guys that are using edge protectors and straps and chains and all these systems, even fall arrest system for drivers, investing heavily in the trailer systems. And then these guys come along, and just because they're a big company, very large company, they have the power and money behind them to undercut everybody else. But the load is parked up. Now the end customer hasn't got the delivery. Now the end customer is going to start asking questions. So after a bit of digging this morning, after about an hour and 15 minutes, I found out this isn't the first time this has happened. So now I've task them with a job to go back and come back to me with every report of late delivery times, every report of drivers being put off site for getting up on top of the bed of the trailer, etc, etc. So guys, the video here is very simple. What systems do you have in place? Does everybody sing off the same hymn sheet? Are you putting training in place for your management team before you go to the bottom of the pile? The guys out in the yard even loading, you know, your main key workers, your loaders, your guys that's securing loads, washing vehicles, maintaining vehicles, all your main staff. What are you doing about it? Are you just sitting back, hand down your trousers and wasting time? Anyway guys, if you leave a comment below, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think in every stage of the you know, the transport and logistic chain, because the world we live in now is nobody wants to have accountability for anything. But let me guarantee you now, when you're sitting at a public inquiry, when you're sitting at an in-chambers hearing, when you're sitting at an official interview, when you're sitting in court, that competence, that lack of competence, that incompetence, that incapability is shown out every time. So anyway, leave a comment down below guys, like, subscribe to the channel, you know the crack, we do videos all the time, we're trying to increase them more and more because people want to hear about it. So, as I say, I was at the other side of the room because that guy was on the roof over here. Now he's at the roof over there, so, but anyway, construction needs to go on. We're at our new Armagh offices, outdoor training centre outside here. We're going to do a YouTube video on it, show everybody what the crack is. Don't forget guys, we are looking for staff as well, and yeah, that's all.